In the West, we are very results-oriented people. How you do things are not as important as what gets done. Now we move to Chinese Asia. Chinese are a very process-oriented people. They are not a results-oriented people. The father of Western culture is Plato. Plato said, hey, look, we don't know anything. We don't know what's right, wrong, good, bad, truth, beauty. I'm in this cave. It's dark. What I need to do, what people need to do, is they need to discover knowledge in order to answer these questions, now called Plato's questions: right, wrong, good, bad, truth, beauty. In the West, we are a knowledge-seeking culture. What's a Western hero? A Western hero is someone who now moves our knowledge forward. People like Stephen Jobs and Stephen Wozniak, everyone laughed at them about a personal computer. Computers are big things. They're not small. Nobody wants their own little computer. But they had an idea. They thought they were right. They started a business and changed the world. They are Western heroes. Galileo, Copernicus. These are people who went against the group and achieved knowledge, achieved a result, moved us forward. The father of Chinese culture is Confucius. What did Confucius say? Confucius said, we used to have the perfect society, but we lost it. And so the first thing we must do is we must re-achieve a perfect society. The perfect society is based on mutual harmony and stability. How do we do this? And this is the true genius of Confucius. He said, we do this by following these rules. Chinese culture is a rules-obeying culture, not a knowledge-seeking culture. What type of rules? Well, they're not traffic rules. If you've driven in Shanghai, you realize that. What they are their rules of relationships. The biggest cause of the problems is the glasses that Westerners wear. They look at everything, doing business, building the relationship, communication, solving problems, time. They look at it through Western glasses, American glasses, not Chinese glasses. There's the one culture, Westerners, America, Canada, outside of French Canada, Australia. And these people, because they're such a big country and only one culture, they look at things through their glasses only. To them, their way of doing things is the way to do things, not just a way to do things. And so now Europeans, cultural sophisticates, they have a leg up on Canadians, Americans, Australians, because when they go to Asia, they already understand the key point, which is their way is just our way, not the way. So they are already prepared to adjust. What Westerners have to do with the Chinese, you have to understand that what they are doing is right for them. They are not doing strange things just to make your life difficult. They're doing it because, in their mind, it's the right thing to do. And if you understand that, if you understand why they are doing it, now you can begin to respect the differences. Once you do that, now you can compromise. But you must understand and respect. And understanding is crucial, and respect, a little bit of respect, goes a long way. If you do any reading about the Chinese and Chinese culture, you learn a number of key points. One of them is relationships are important. However, if you use the Western idea of relationships when you're with the Chinese, you will fail, because the word that the Chinese use, guanxi, is translated as relationships, but it does not mean relationships as Westerners define it. It doesn't mean just people I know, people who I've got a business card from, people I've done business with once or twice. What guanxi means to the Chinese is mutually shared obligation. That now, once I have received a favor from Mr. Chen, Mr. Huang, who's Mr. Chen's friend, can come to me now, and that I am now obligated to help him, even if I don't want to, even if it's against my interests. because I now owe him, because of the favor that Mr. Chen did, I now have to help Mr. Huang. But that means that a month later, I can go to Mr. Dong, who's Mr. Huang's friend, and now I can ask for something from him, a cheap price on a printing job, say. And that now that's the way guanxi works. It's not relationships as Westerners define it. It's more of an obligation. And once you are in a guanxi group, you're in it. The only way out is to not do the thing. And when you not do the thing, your whole guanxi group collapses. When you think Chinese business relationships, don't think contract, think marriage. If you know how to make a marriage work in the West, you know how to do business with the Chinese. You just don't know you know. What is a marriage, and what's the difference between a marriage and a contract? Well, the first thing is a marriage is meant to be forever, whereas a contract has a set period of time. When you make a business relationship with the Chinese, they don't want to know that, oh, in 5 years we'll renegotiate and maybe choose another partner. They want to now know that you're going to be their partner for the long term. A marriage is meant to be mutual benefit. And how do we achieve mutual benefit? Through mutual compromise. That's very different again than from the West. In the West, a contract defines the terms. We don't change the terms of the contract once it's signed. Whereas in China, a marriage is fluid. Sometimes I work to benefit my partner. Sometimes my partner works to benefit me. Over time, we both benefit. It's a win-win situation. In the West, we believe, in our arrogance perhaps, that we can predict the future accurately. That's what a contract is. And a contract now specifies that we will get punished this way if we do not do exactly this in the future. However, the Chinese don't have that same analytical sense about the future. They don't believe that they can predict the future. It's a saying the Chinese use, Ren Suan, Bu Ru Tian Suan. Literally translated, it means man may propose things, but the gods decide what happens. The Chinese are very fatalistic. There's only two times that are important to the Chinese, now and the past. The future is unknowable. So when the Chinese sign a contract with a Western firm, what the Chinese believe that contract is the beginning of the relationship, that this is what we hope happens. However, as situations change, we would expect the contract terms to change as well. Remember, marriage, mutual benefit, compromise, flexibility. That's the way the Chinese think about the contract and the future. You cannot use future benefits to get what you want now with the Chinese. Say that, look, if you give me this now, you will benefit this way in the future. The Chinese don't believe that. The future is unknowable. Who knows what will happen in the future? The gods may decide something different. So therefore, they're not going to be lured into doing something good for you now because that will get them some benefits in the future. Your benefits to the Chinese must be short-term because they don't look long-term. In China, there are 3 times to a meeting: before the meeting, after the meeting, during the meeting. The only time when things are not decided is during the meeting. Why? Well, we make decisions. It's now somebody's right, wrong. You now have to say, well, no, I don't agree with that. Well, Chinese don't want to bring that into the open. Disagreement should be communicated indirectly. So now what happens is we discuss during the meeting, the situation, but we don't come to a resolution. After the meeting, we meet in 2s and 3s and 4s, and that's where the resolution happens. The Chinese don't mind this at all because they achieve the result they want, a decision, and they achieve it in their way, which is no one loses face. Harmony is protected. And everything in Chinese culture revolves around harmony. The Chinese want a result at the end, but they want a result achieved in their way, where relationships are not put at risk.